Welcome back to the Real Quick with Mike Swick podcast. Today we have my friend, former UFC champion, former Strikeforce champion. I think he's ranked number 5 in the UFC right now, and he may be having a very interesting big fight coming up. I'm talking about Tyron Woodley. Let's get started. Tyron, welcome to the show, buddy. Welcome back to the show.
No, how you been, my man? It's been a minute.
Good, dude. How are you?
I've been good, man. You've been cranking these out. I've been watching them. I'm like, this dude ain't bullshitting.
Dude, you were my first one back after 9 months off, and I got serious about it. Wanted to do it this way, this format, where I could just knock them out of my house and just do them, via Skype. Because I love doing this, man. But it was just a big process before, having such a big program kind of thing going. And so you were my first one back when the quarantine started, and it's been probably 40 episodes since then, dude. It's just been.
Man. It's been good, though, because you got a lot of different fighters and different perspectives, and your relationships with different people is going to make them answer questions differently, because when they're just a reporter, sometimes they don't feel like you went through the grind, you went through the struggle, you know what I mean? But when you're a fighter, it's like we're willing to give you the extra edge because you appreciate and you actually understand it. So yeah. I've been checking them out. They've been dope.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I got DC tomorrow. I'm excited about that one as well. So, but you, my friend, being my friend, and my brother, it's awesome having you back on the show and catching up with you. First of all, how's your health? How's your training? How's everything going? I hear America's going fucking nuts with the quarantine thing and the COVID. So first of all, where are you at? Because I know you were traveling.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm in Los Angeles. Sorry, I knew a camp was coming up. So what I wanted to do was clear my head, because normally, my first instinct is going to be to come to Thailand, aka Thailand, to do a pre-camp before my camp. But with the borders closed down, and not having that big bankroll, I can just, bring everybody out private.
Yeah.
And he just put me in a different situation. So I went out to Big Bear for a little bit, clear my head, just to get ready to get back in the grind, because it was a long camp, man. It was all the way from end of December, beginning of January, training in Thailand, came back Atlanta. Then the pandemic hit a few days before my fight. And then it was just delay. And finally, I got in there. So I needed to detach from that entire camp and start fresh. So I needed to eat some terrible-ass food. I needed to, stay up late. I needed to have a little fun. So I did that. And right when I left Big Bear and I, got to the point where I felt like, then I started having a conversation, come back up about fighting again. So it looked like I'm going to be fighting Colby Covington. The date we're waiting on right now, but I'm pretty confident it's going to be a main event. Main event, ESPN Plus, me versus Kobe. And this is the first place I talked about it at. So
damn, nice. The thing is, the last couple of fights you had, man, as a friend, I know you personally and the things you went through, and like especially the way you were tossed around between, England and getting ready for the last fight and everything else. It's like I'm excited to see you focused and like have a full camp and be in one place and be motivated. And what better opponent than somebody that you hate, Colby Covington.
This is a big fight for me. This is probably the biggest fight in my career, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it's a situation. It's like bragging rights, and it's like he's talked all this shit, but in my mind, he really knows what time it is. But now that he has talked that much shit, now he got to try to live up to it. He got to try to beat me. He's been calling me out for 4 years, damn near. Yeah. So now it's to the point where it's like it's personal, and the other fights didn't really mean as much. Like, I feel like Usman and Gilbert kind of goofy, and it's like I really didn't feel no animosity towards them. I really didn't feel no real rah-rah, but I feel that with Kobe. And some of the other guys, I felt the urgency because of how good they were. Carlos Condon and Robbie Lawler, those guys are OGs. Like, natural born killer, ruthless, gorilla, all these fucking different monstrous fighters that I got to bring it to them because they sure the fuck gonna bring it to me. So I think Kobe's gonna bring me that first time I get that opponent at the press conference is gonna be like, we probably just gonna break the internet, to be honest.
It's an unbelievable fight, bro. And then I can relate on a very lower level as far as like as you get older and as you've been not even at getting older, but just having so much experience. You need motivation to get yourself fired up. Like I needed motivation of like promoting the gym and actually doing my fight camp from this dream gym that I built to be able to fight in 2015. If it wasn't for that, I would have never done it, bro. I would have never got in there and fought again at 36 years old. But because of that, that was kind of my fire. You being a champion, you did everything, bro. You're arguably one of the best welterweights of all time, multiple-time champion, 4-time, 5-time champion, whatever it is, Strikeforce champion. So it's like for you, I can totally understand needing that motivation to really feel that empowerment inside, that fire inside, and that flame. And I think Colby's going to be the guy to bring it out for you. And y'all been going back and forth. And what I was going to ask you, so I know you don't, and I know the story obviously from you and everything, but in the media and leading into this fight, what is it that, like, first of all, I just want to say, because he's a tough fight. Let's not forget about that. Yeah. So people watching this, let's not forget the fact that Colby is a tough fight. It's not like obviously you're putting yourself out there to fight a tough fighter. He is a tough fighter. He's probably gotten better since you've seen him train before. But he's just so steady talking, man. He has that kind of Conor confidence kind of thing. How much of that do you think is just air, and how much of that do you think he's actually improved since you've trained with him and since you've known him, and he believes that he is that much better?
I've seen them and I've known them. It's all I act from the beginning to the end, because I know the real person. I used to pay Colby as a training partner like $400 or $500 a week to come and train with me. So I know him personally. I know his strengths and weaknesses. And the thing about me is like the big brother syndrome in the gym.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got the guy that whoops your ass. It's always going to be ingrained into your mind. Maybe it's going to be ingrained into your mind where now you want to really level up and try to go out there and beat him. That's what happened with John Jones with the Rashad Evans situation. Or it could be a situation where you are nervous and you're overthinking and you shut down your leg. And either way it go is going to force Colby out of his normal box. His normal bag is cardio.
Yeah.
It's hard to damage something that's pressing forward and pressing against you. He knows that. So he's located his biggest attribute and his strength, because it's not his work ethic. He just naturally has a great gas tank. If he would have fought me on some of those other fights without a camp, because I know he wasn't with ATT, he still would have been in good shape. He's a dude that doesn't work real hard. He's a dude that will piss you off in the gym, Mike. He'll be in there and not doing shit. You'll be working your butt off, balls to the wall, and he'll look like he's been doing the same amount of cardio. And that's his gift, and he knows how to use that. And I would be an idiot not to consider that, because it's hard to punch something that's smothering you.
Right, of course.
He can smother you for 25, 30 minutes straight. So it is a hard fight just because of that. It's a hard fight because of the pressure. It's a hard fight because of, all that's at stake. It's a hard fight because he wants to prove that, that he can beat me. And this is his whole brand. His entire brand is wrapped around me. No matter the Usman fight Usman is who he is because of me. I'm still his biggest win. I'm still his biggest conversation. Like, if it wasn't for me versus Usman, it would be no Colby versus Usman. It would be no Masvidal versus Usman, right?
Yeah.
If I had my head on straight and I fucking took care of business that night, these fights I would have been fighting in Dubai. You know what I mean? All those opportunities. So Colby has to beat me, and that urgency is what's going to make me go out there and just get it in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be an insane fight for sure. Your boy Tyson says, he's always said that you always have a game plan until you get hit. Now, I get Colby can take a punch. I get Colby's been hit. But, bro, like, I know you, and you've been training here at AK Thailand as well. And, dude, you pack a hell of a lot of power, bro. It's not going to be like a Usman punch. It's not going to be like some of these punches he's taken before. So it's like, yeah, he does have that pressure. But it's going to change slightly, I think, if not drastically, when he takes multitude of your strikes. I'm not going to get into it. But obviously we know you have a strong punch. That's been seen. But you have a multitude of strong strikes. And if you can harness that explosiveness and unleash it when he comes in like that, it's going to be a crazy fight, bro.
I remember, Mike, that air down workout, right? The guy forbidden, a.k.a. air down workout in San Jose. Now you've adopted an entire level to your gym that's dedicated to this air down workout. But it's basically a 30-minute workout where you're doing a minute balls to the wall on the air down bike and then a minute balls to the wall on some type of exercise. And I remember one of the exercises Bob Cook loved so much. He had this big, heavy-ass little dummy, and he would walk towards you. and he would walk towards you.
Smother you.
You can't really back up. You got to angle off and punch, and you got to punch hard.
Yep.
Or he's yelling at you or pushing you, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it simulates it, and you don't like it. It's uncomfortable. I'm gonna have to put myself in a lot of uncomfortable training situations similar to that, because that's the only way that I'm gonna be able to do that and separate, create just a little bit of distance, throw some short shots, create a longer space, fire off, keep the distance, and if you come back in, I gotta be able to repeat that over and over again, because if I get frustrated like Robbie did, Robbie got frustrated, right? Don't let him take me down, keep the space, get him off you, but he's never gonna stop, and then over time, it became draining to Robbie to even lift his arms up. And, it wasn't like he was getting hit. It wasn't like he was out of shape. But he'll make you feel like, damn, am I in shape? Is he in that much better shape than me? And I think that's what he did to Robbie, and I can't let that happen to me.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. I get it. And I see that. And I know you're going to prepare right. And I know you're motivated as shit for this fight. Given the fact that this has to be one of the most exciting fights for you to date. I mean, aside from winning a championship and those big fights, I mean, because of this bad blood you've had for so long, it's got to be like one of the up there, like one of the biggest fights of your career, as far as like just to prove a point.
Yeah, not only just to prove a point, I can never be a great without an adversary like Colby. Like look at it,
of course.
Like no fighter, even George St. Pierre, him and Nick Diaz, or you know what I mean, or he didn't really have a lot of rivalries, but he at least had one controversial situation where people didn't know if they want to see one person win or the other person win, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what's needed to be like, I'm on the cusp. I'm right there on the cusp of blowing up. You know what I mean? I got all the things that I need to have, and this fight may have it's enough people that want me to hurt him so bad that if I do it, now I'm a hero. We're not even talking about losing 2 fights in a row. We're talking about the kid that finally took care of Colby Covington. Usman didn't really take care of him. He won. Yeah. But had he not dropped him twice, Usman probably would have lost that fight.
Yeah, you're right. And we talked about that afterwards because we were trying to get you ready for getting back up there. What is it do you think is the most annoying thing to you mentally? Because obviously there's a lot of people that are annoyed that aren't on the Colby side that are annoyed by things he says and does. Then he has his fan base obviously as well. What is it that annoys you the most? Obviously you say his whole act is fake and everything, but what is it that just really makes you roll your eyes back? Because I'm just curious because of I want to see if it's the same as me and maybe some other people that I know.
You know what's funny, Mike? What annoys me the most is the fact that normally if someone says Tyron, I did this to Tyron, he's this, he's that. I'm so aware of who I am. Nobody could ever really bother me by telling me I'm something that I know I'm not.
Right.
So it's almost like him saying I'm green.
Yeah, right.
Tyron, I beat him in the gym. Okay, Tyron is green. Tyron is purple. And that's how I separate myself from how far from the truth. But unfortunately, I have to address what he says. I have to address what he's talking about because it's not just a fight. I can't lose a press conference. I can't let him. I could, but why? When it's an opportunity to let motherfuckers know. So now I'm going to have to respond to that. He's going to respond back, and I've got to respond to that. And I got to balance and be able to stay focused, stay sharp, stay thinking about the training, and not get caught up into the jar jacking and the back and forth on the press conference. Because he's going to try to use everything. And mental warfare, you know what I mean? He's going to try to be racist. He's going to try to talk about stuff in my personal life. He's going to bluff and make up shit about the gym. He's going to ask all these questions because he was in St. Louis with me. So anything that he can turn into something, he's going to do that.
Sure.
And guess what? I'm going to match him and make him look stupid.
One thing that's good for you, though, is, he's doing everything in his power to get where you've been. And there's nothing anyone can do to take that away. You know what I mean? You're still there fighting when you don't have to be. You could be on to music and on to acting and moving on with your career as one of the greatest welterweights of all time. He's trying to get there. So no matter what he says and what he talks, technically, he's still trying to become and have the impact that you had results-wise in the UFC. And is there, I got to ask you this though, because I know the story with you and him and how a little bit, how it goes back, is there just like bitterness with you? Like, I know sometimes when you help people, or when you've been there for people, or when you do things with people and then they turn on you, and then to this degree where you're going to actually fight, and he's saying a bunch of shit that's like maybe true that shouldn't be said, stuff that's not true. You know, people can't even tell the difference. Is there a lot of bitterness as far as like just a loss of faith in humanity in people when you have to deal with something like this, where a guy turns on you like this?
You know, I think it's hard to even put it any better than what you put it. You know what I mean? To be honest, it's like, it's a situation where we're going to have people who just basically betray us at some point of our life.
Yeah, I've been there, man.
We have people that you invested a lot of time in. I know you understand this very well, unfortunately. You invest a lot of time and energy in something or someone, and they don't value that, and they don't actually go back and, you know what I mean, try to repay that or even say thank you.
Right.
So in this situation, it's like this. You've been talking all that shit about fighting me, knowing that when you were talking to stuff, I used to torture you. Like, it wasn't even fair. So now you got to actually fight me. So now you put yourself in a situation where you told everybody all these lies, and now you have to actually fight the person you've been telling lies about.
Yeah. And
you made that person pissed off. That's stupid.
Yeah.
So in my mind, that's the bag I got to fight out of. I got to fight out of, like, oh no, you've been talking all this shit. Because you know when you talking and having fun and sparring, you never get tired. So he may have the cardio, but when I flip the switch to me teaching him a lesson and talking to him like he might look like he a son getting a whooping, I don't think that the conditioning is going to be to his advantage.
Right.
Because when you're in that zone, it's a whole different. You know that it's a whole different zone when you talking shit and and you almost forget that you sparring and fighting. And I think I just gotta make an ugly fight, man. I gotta make an ugly fight, and I got all the tools. I got everything I need. I don't need to add too much more. I just need to understand and be confident that that's enough. Sometimes we overdo it because I got to be in such good shape. I got to do 7 times the amount of stuff that I did the last time. No, if I was planning on sprinting 25 minutes, it shouldn't matter who it is.
Yeah.
I mean, when I move forward and it's me, I never lose. I'm never going to lose. So if I'm moving forward, it don't really matter what he had game plan for 25 minutes, because now you got to deal with what I got to plan.
Yeah.
And that's going to supersede just because you don't have it. You don't have the ability to just hit you one time and just it's over with. Like, we haven't seen him display that.
Yeah.
This stuff is pressure and volume.
Yeah, and his, you know, his obviously his offense being that pressure and that cardio is grinding, but it's not going to put you to sleep or submit you. Yeah. You know what I mean? So his strong suit is going to grind you. It could wear you down. It could potentially, you know, he's going for more that decision style kind of victory, whereas your upside and your offense can damage him and can put him to sleep and can finish him. So it's like that's what makes this fight so interesting.
And it's going to make him. He has to grind me even more. He has to.
Yeah.
He knows that in the open, I pose a big threat to him. Like, out of everybody in the division, me and maybe 1 or 2 other guys have the ability to touch him once and it's over wrap.
Yeah.
You got sat down and knocked down by Usman, and that was just a basic straight right punch. It wasn't like something that he had a lot of ass behind. He didn't like throw it crazy. He just threw a straight punch, and that was enough to sit you down. So cardio or not, you're already showing me that your chin, once it's touched, you know what I mean, your body's going to be normal. You can have the greatest cardio on earth, but if you show me when I touch your chin and I punch way harder than Usman and I hit you, you going down.
Yeah, no, I agree with you totally. And how much can he pressure into that power? And that's going to be the question. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you can pressure so much, but when you're pressuring into clinching and pressuring into wrestling and pressuring into takedowns, that's a whole different ballgame than pressuring into right hands and knees and elbows and kicks. And I mean, it takes a toll, bro. Like, and you are, man, like, I can vouch you have so much power, bro.
Hey, pressing into slaps,
whatever you want to do, man. But it's gonna be an exciting fight. So there's no set date or anything like that. It's just on the horizon.
We're getting close on the date. We're getting real close on the date, though.
But it's going down, though.
September, October, yeah.
It's going down, though.
It's going down for sure.
Hell yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm pumped up because I know how much you want it. And as you can see, we just talked about it right before the podcast. But I got my chosen one tee.
My guy
on.
out there.
Hopefully you can see that on the
guy out there in the trees, eat fresh coconut and train like a madman.
Dude, it's soft. Dude, it feels good, man. I like this shirt. I've only worn it one time before when you gave it to me, but like, it's super soft. I'm enjoying it. I might wear this for more podcasts.
Well, I appreciate that, my guy.
What else is going on with you, man? Like, obviously, you got that coming up. That's going to be incredible. And I'm sure it's going to go back and forth. It's going to be, I'll have you on for sure before that fight happens again. But what else is going on with you as far as outside projects, music, acting?
Content, man. Just content, creative content. I'm doing a lot of producing now, so I'm executive producing a lot of really cool content, like groundbreaking shit. And I feel like for me, I'm always setting the trend for these other fighters, whether it's having your own vlog or the way you present yourself or the way you attack sponsors or, you know what I mean, how you hold your ground. I really, like Usman, Colby, I mentored those guys. Like, I have messages from, what should I do about this? And how should I do this? And how does it feel when you become a champion? Like, I did that. It's like basically free consulting.
Yeah.
So now it's to the point where I'm trying to leverage a lot of my relationships, a lot of my connections, a lot of unique people that have been put in my path that's been very helpful. I'm going to leverage those people in their base, and I'm going to leverage relationships to make content different, make it a lifestyle versus, okay, let me take a good photo with a homie. No, it's like, this is my guy. We hanging out. We chilling. That's what we do. We just letting you guys see. This ain't nothing new for camera. And people like that fly on the type of footage. So I got a lot of that coming out. I got a movie idea called Cutthroat City that came out yesterday. And I think it's going to be it's kind of hard to get in theaters right now. So it's like a couple select theaters.
Yeah, right.
But it's a movie called Cutthroat City, written by the RZA, featuring Shamik Moore, Demetrius Shipp. He played Tupac in a biopic.
Yep.
Terrence Howard, Wesley Snipes,
Damn.
and Sophia. There's a lot of people in there, so it's a really cool deal. And I got a scene with T.I., the rapper. That's it was a good scene, so I got a chance to have an accent. So that's coming out. Well, it's out now, but it's coming out in most theaters August 21st, I believe. That's the projected date. And yeah, man, I got one more episode of the Titan game coming up, so we'll see that.
I'm looking forward to seeing that, man.
Shit.
I love how honest you were, man, the first time. You were just like, look, man, I'm in good shape. You made no excuse. You're just like, it's a different thing.
Yeah,
and bro, and when you said that.
Like, all right, just for the conditioning.
Hold up, though, bro. When you said that, like, I know you, bro. And, like, when you said that, because when you got on the mic, I didn't know what you were going to say. But then you said, I was in good shape. I could take a fight. And it was good. You gave so much credit. But bro, I know your schedule, dude. You weren't like in the best shape, ready for that. Come on, bro. You are all over. I can't even keep track of where you're at, bro. You're all over the place.
Before, when I did that show, I was literally in Atlanta, and my goal was I was supposed to come back to Thailand. Remember?
Yeah.
And this is before the pandemic, so I was in Atlanta getting ready for Leon Edwards fight when I filmed that. So when I was in Atlanta, I'm like, all right, cool. I just want to hit the pads with Manu a little bit just to see how things go, hit the pads. And I hadn't planned on staying down there and train. But I get there, he had like one dude to grapple me, one dude to do judo, one dude to box me, one dude to Muay Thai, him hitting the pads. So he was like, I'm like, I've been on set for 12 hours, so he wanted to do a round robin. So I had a hard time going to sleep after that.
Yeah.
So the next morning I wake up to do the competition. And it's film and it's production, and it's really
a lot, yeah.
One time, it ain't cut, it ain't nothing, right? So like I'm freaking out. It's sawdust in there, and like they make me watch all these videos, and I'm sitting there watching the guy because it's a production too. So I'm watching the guy acting like I'm watching him run. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna smoke you. Like talking shit to the camera, right?
Yeah.
Then they say turn around and they put you on line and say go.
Yeah,
so that's it. Like I told him, I said, man. I said, I know how you shooting this because I'm not acting like I'm the number one producer on earth, but I know the shots you were trying to get. I said, you want to get a shot of me looking at this guy on screen, his past performances, and basically saying, okay, I'm going to either whoop your ass or basically he's tough and it's going to be a challenge. You want me to go one direction.
Yeah, right.
And then we're going to get on the line. We're going to do this, and we'll have this footage first. Then we have me do it, and then we have some footage after. I said, let me do this after the race because I know the energy you need. I'm going to give you the full energy. Win, lose, or draw, I'm going to act like I haven't raced him yet. I'm going to look at this camera because I'm a fighter. Like, nobody talk to me when I'm in backstage. Like, give me my space. Yeah. Like, I got my warm-up going. I know exactly when I'm supposed to kind of be ready to walk out. And this one was just like, boom. So we did the race. Boom. We in my mind, I'm like, all right, this front hurdle, right? Should I jump it or should I hurdle that bitch? Because I'm like, it was a borderline if I was gonna make it or not. And I didn't have a chance to really think about it because I was doing all these interviews, and then they put me in a line. So now I got to think about it with like in 3, 2, and I'm like, what the fuck do I do? 1. So I took off, and then 2 strides, and I said, fuck it, I'm a fucking hurdle this mug, right? So either I hurdle and I clear it and I look like a G, or I hit my ankle because I haven't hurdled since 1998, and I get caught and I fall and fuck myself up, get hurt. Like this all run through my mind as they're doing 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
So I heard everybody. I heard this first thing. I look out of my right peripheral, and this dude, Country Strong, hurdled it too.
Yeah.
And we was neck and neck, and it kind of mentally fucked with me a little bit because I'm like, damn, dog. Like I expected to at least get a big head start because I was faster, stronger looking. And then we got underneath, and we had to flip those boxes.
He was legit.
Your box had to be flat for you to go up. So my box was stuck, and I didn't know how to get it, like, to drop it down or, like, did I push it forward? And I was looking at the producers. He was gone. So most of the race, I looked at the back of his head.
Yeah. He was legit,
so
dude. But hats off.
To be honest, in that point.
Hats off to you for giving him credit, though. But I can't wait to see you go back there again, man, and do that again.
I got to go back out there and at least, you know what I mean, represent. So I get another chance to go back. So,
Miocic, I know you do films. Someone asked me this question one time, not about the Grammy, obviously, but about the championship belt in MMA or Academy. But I know you're getting into films and stuff like that. You want to do films. You obviously, music is your big passion. If you had a choice and you were definitely going to get one, would you take an Academy Award or would you take a Grammy? What would mean the most for you? Not only like I guess just for the pride, but also for future and just everything, just all that comes with it.
Academy Award.
If you knew you could get one of them, what would you choose, a Grammy or Academy Award?
Academy Awards sound hard though.
Yeah, bro.
That sounds. The Grammy sounds dope too, but the only reason I would want the Grammy because I would feel like I would have the Academy Award. And for me to get the Grammy too, now the Grammy is a big deal. But if I didn't have the Academy Award and I had to pick, then I got to get that because that separates me from everything. Everybody, everything breathing is not just sport and entertainment. That if you got that, that's got to be it.
Dude, I did one film, and it was like a tiny-ass part, and it was like a fight. I fought the main event, or the main fight of a movie, so I have no acting experience, bro. Like, I have no skills. But when I was asked, I
was thinking Warrior.
No, it was Beatdown. But when I was asked that question, bro, not the Grammy, but I was asked between a UFC championship belt or an Academy Award. I chose Academy Award for sure. Not that I can get it, but if I could get it, bro, that's like that's like work for the rest of your life. You could be 70 years old, you're gonna get work. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna be doing cool shit for the rest of your life. You get an Academy Award.
I got a feeling that, you know what I mean, after my chapter of fighting completes and I finished it the way that I saw the end in the beginning. You know what I mean? I finished it that way. I'm the greatest. You know what I mean? Everybody love the hero. They love the comeback story. And fighting against Colby gives me a lot of opportunities to let the fans get behind me. You know, this kid, he ain't as young as he was, but he still got the fight in him. You know what I mean? We know what he's capable of. There's been times where he didn't give us that, and we try to wonder why. He's doing a lot of stuff. Is it too much? Or does he need to do that? It's a lot of questions, and I feel like a victory over him, you know, knocking him out, will really answer some of those questions, you know, because I think people see the motivation shifted. When you become unmotivated in certain areas, not saying I'm unmotivated, I'm motivated to win. Like, I train my ass off. I have no remorse and no nothing that I can look back on that I know I didn't push. I pushed hard. And that's why it's so confusing. Sometimes I've done just enough to win. I've had the most dominant performances, and sometimes, you know, you put everything you got into it, and if for some reason that night enough things added up that you had to try to bounce back from, that you never really got on your good foot. Yeah. If that makes sense. So, yeah, but yeah, you know, we gotta take the Gladiator piece. That's the stuff that make our name great.
Hey everybody, I want to thank our sponsor, AK Thailand, real fast here in Phuket, Thailand, the gym that Tyron and I have been talking about, where Tyron comes and trains. I want you to know it is not just for UFC level fighters, world champions like Tyron, you know, amateur fighters, pro fighters. It's for everybody, inexperienced individuals who have no training whatsoever to maybe a little bit of training. Everybody. It's just an amazing experience. We're the highest rated destination gym in the world. You can come and train with world champion Muay Thai trainers, third degree black belt BJJ instructors. You can do the Airdyne, the famous AK Airdyne Cardio Blast, yoga, training one of the most beautiful environments in the world, hill sprints with ocean view, go to the beaches. It's all here at AK Thailand, and you can save 30% if you book now. We are doing a quarantine pandemic special for people that are wanting to come. All of you guys that are ready to get out of your house and come and train in Thailand, and we know that there are a lot of you. We get messages every day, and we're selling these pre-sales like crazy. We're continuing to do it right now until the airports open up, which we have no idea when that's going to be. So as of this podcast, I don't know when you're watching this, maybe it's a year from now, but as of this podcast right now, August 2nd, I think, 2020, we are offering 30% discount. And so go to akthailand.com and you can save 30% off all group training, and that is no expiration on that. You can use it anytime in the future. So if you come in 2020, you come in 2021, you come in 2022, you can literally come anytime. Your name is in our POS. You get 30% discount on all group training for future training. You can do a week, you can do a month, you can do 3 months, 6 months, a year. We also offer education visas where you can get 6 months, 12 months education visas with us, where you can stay in Thailand, not have to worry about leaving. I have a full administration team at the gym that will take care of everything you need, from your education visa, questions, travel, translation. If you have run-ins with the cops, you do something wrong, you're not wearing your helmet, you fall off your bike, you have an accident, like my administration is 5-star. They will handle anything that comes up for you. We're a family at AK Thailand. We'll completely take care of you. So book that training now, akthailand.com. Everything's set up. You can go on the website, book it. If you're not familiar with the gym, here's a commercial.
What's up, everybody? I am here in Thailand. This is the first time I've ever been here. Been dying to come here for years. Mike Swick, he's one of the big reasons he's been trying to pull me down here. What he built down here, AKA Thailand, is incredible. There's people here from all over the world. You can train mixed martial arts here, jiu-jitsu. They have weightlifting, they have cardio, and obviously they have Muay Thai, boxing, everything. I'm telling you guys, I know everybody wants to go to Thailand because Thailand's so cool, but you can't come to Thailand without coming to AKA Thailand. Come on.
What is your advice to fighters coming up? Like, we got a lot of big stars coming up, Sugar Shane, and you got Paulo Costa's coming in, and he's a big name, possibly could become a champion. Sterling's getting a lot of hype. There's a lot of people getting a lot of hype trying to get where you were, being that champion or whatever. You were there, and now you're transitioning. Yeah. You got this huge fight at least you got this good fight to motivate yourself. That's probably more than a belt to keep you motivated for this last big fight. And then decide if you want to keep fighting, get the belt, go on to your next thing. But being where you're at in your career, what's your advice to fighters that are coming up that do get to that high level where they achieve stardom and make the big bucks, on what they should do and how they should transition once they get to that point where they should start thinking about post-fighting? Now, again, I'm not saying that's where your thoughts are only, and obviously you got a big fight coming up, but obviously when you get to the later part of your career, you have to start thinking about what's going to happen later, or you're going to have nothing. And we've seen all the fighters that don't have anything because they never thought about it, they never prepared, they never used their networks, they never did anything. What's your advice to some of these fighters that are just gung-ho, wanting to be champions, blowing money and acting crazy, and not really realizing that there is life after fighting, and it's exciting. It's like a rebirth. For me, it was like a complete rebirth. It was like when I quit fighting and started business full time and started building the gym and everything, it was like a whole new life for me, which was cool and it was exciting. And I love looking back at the fact that I had the UFC career, and I could say I fought 15 times in the UFC, and I did that, and I wasn't even to your level. I wasn't even a champion. But then it was a whole new life. What is your advice, being that you're kind of in that position where you're still taking big fights, you still could be a champion, but yet you have to also start thinking about soon you're going to be transitioning into that next phase, and how can you advise other up-and-comers to prepare for that?
You have to take it on head on, and you can't be afraid of the next chapter. That's really all it is. I mean, the fighters that have only fighting are the fighters that are unfortunately 5-10 years on the road. We're going to look at them and it's going to like, where did they go?
Yep.
We're going to see them doing tasks and work, or maybe not working at all, and it's going to be kind of sad for us to watch because the sport takes so much out of you mentally. It takes so much time away from other crafts, abilities, you know what I mean, things that you was passionate about that you could have done parallel. It's very difficult to do two things at once with this MMA stuff. So you put your life on hold. If you got a 10, 15, 20-year career in mixed martial arts, that's 20 years that's really your only skill and expertise.
Right.
You haven't been doing these other things. And, you know, evolution happens. The technology changes and systems, procedures, warm-ups, and all these different things to be a business man or woman changes, and you don't have the repetition of doing it. So I would, as you're getting to that final chapter of this fight career, I would really start looking at what's passionate, because you will find it's going to be two birds with one stone. You're going to find sometimes that the politics or, you know, the highs and lows, because there's very few people that are like at the top and treated like the best of the entire time of their career. They're going to say no to something that the UFC wants, or they're going to, you know, be in a position where it just doesn't make sense for them, but it makes a lot of sense for what the promotion wants. And it may be at odds at some point. So when you find what you're passionate about, it gives you that joy. And sometimes it may not be fighting. It may be music. Like for me, at one point it was music. And then now it's production. But I'm not replacing my main bag with that. But like my passion for that, I got to earn to be able to do that. So the harder I train, if I'm on time that day and I train hard and I do more, now when I go and record, or I go write a treatment, or I get myself ready to film, I feel like I earned it. You know what I mean? And I think if you keep that balance, it's how I was able to do so much and still maintain a high level. I earned the studio. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I earned to go out and go to a premiere, to a movie premiere that I was in camp. But as long as I don't drink and, you know what I mean, turn up and be out too late, it's not going to kill me. I should be able. I need to go to the network, because we tell ourselves there in camp, don't eat, don't drink, no fat. You know what I mean? Don't be out late. Don't even make us think that you about to, you know what I mean? Yeah. You can be drinking a gallon of water inside of an event, and everybody can be drinking around, but people just attach us with perfection. And it's not real. Yeah. It's not real. We eat bullshit food, you know. You've had the experience. Yeah. You know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? So we do those things, but it's like I tell you this all the time, Mike, it's all about, life is about remember those time win moments. And I'm trying to create as many of those. Yeah. Remember that time when everybody counted me out, and I came back and I won a shop again, and I was damn near 40, and like nobody had ever did that before, and I walked away like a G. That's what life's about. Like I wanted to walk through Usman, then beat up Colby, then beat up a couple more guys, go up a weight class, take that belt, defend a couple more times, and then just, do I fight super fights? Do I keep fighting? I don't know. And have so many options. And meanwhile, as I'm the champion, because when you're the winner and you're the champion, more opportunities come to you. It's night and day. It's not even the same.
Yeah, I bet.
So now all the opportunities was coming with me. Now I'm this crazy actor, and I've got gold and platinum music, and I'm producing my own shit. That would be the best case scenario. But now it's like this. Those are still the things that I'm looking for. But now I got to detour, and I got to go around. I got to get through this task that could be harder than the title. And then I got to find my way through. Yeah. And as I find my way through, I think I got to lean on that experience we talk about. That experience is so important, because when it comes down to two things being even, same power, same speed, same cardio, same wrestling, and that experience, man, that experience can take me into a different realm that, you know what I mean, your natural body and your natural state can't. And I know that I got way more of that than Kobe do.
Yeah, for sure. And we all have fun, man. We all do fun things to relax and get our mind off stuff. And I know you've taken heat in the past and even currently, because people are quick to say you need to be focused on fighting, not on music, not on acting, and such and such and such. People don't understand. These are people that have no idea about fighters. Fighters, when I was a fighter, I had more off time to relax and do other stuff than I've ever had since then. And most fighters play video games, they watch movies, they party, they don't realize some of the best fighters in the world spend the majority of their time doing other things that have nothing to do with fighting than fighting. But people just assume that they're just sitting there reading fighting books and like watching fighting videos and training all the time. That's not the case. True. They put the work in, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of downtime. And I think the sacrifice never ends if you want to get what you want. And for me, of course, I had the fun times and partying right after a fight and, the nights out to relax. But in those downtimes, instead of the video games and doing some of the other stuff, some people go fishing and hunting and all these other things. I was always reading business books because I had that, like you said, that passion for business, right? So I filled that time with business, learning business. I wasn't out trying to do meetings and not getting in the way of my fight, but I was definitely learning about it, and that's paid dividends now that I've had my fighting career finished, and now I'm in business and I'm way more acclimated to what business is, and I've had more success and I've done better because I utilized that time and sacrificed a lot of those fun moments I could have done other stuff on business. And for you, you're using that time, like when you were here, I saw you're using that time to focus on music and other things in your off time and your downtime to get your mind off training, to relax your body and to recover between sessions. And people don't realize that. And I think that needed to be said because people don't understand that fighters, at all levels, even champion level, they don't just sit around and train, 24 hours a day and watch fight videos and read fight books 24 hours a day. And most of them are doing stuff that would blow your fucking mind. Like fans wouldn't even believe some of the stuff that fighters actually do that are at the highest level. You know what I mean? And publicly, we've seen a couple of things that came up with some superstars that they've done. So it's like, my advice, along with what you said, I agree with you, is to find that passion that you want afterwards as you start getting later on in your career. And start learning about it. Start putting some effort into it and pursuing that in that regard. In a way of kind of taking your mind off of fighting and relaxing, and that's going to pay dividends later on when you're needing that information, you have that experience. So I just wanted to say that because I see you getting a hard time for it, and like people don't realize they don't have an idea what it's really like. You know what I mean? Like the most free time I've ever had is when I was a fighter. I mean, I trained 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day, and the rest of the day I had nothing else to do. If it wasn't business for me, it was nothing. Like I had nothing else to do. So, you have time to go ahead and set yourself up. And I think more fighters need to do that for sure. I want to get into real fast. I want to talk about this, your boy Mike Tyson fighting Roy Jones Jr., two of my heroes, bro, like at different times. And they were going to fight at one time and it fell through. What are your thoughts on that fight?
Both of those guys were my heroes as well for different reasons. And there's certain things in my fighting that I've taken from each fighter. Even the ones that people haven't seen me use yet, it's a lot of Roy Jones because I'm kind of like fast like him, and I got really long arms. You know what I mean? I can close the distance, or I can get out of the way quick. So I've been able to use some of the stuff, and then the compact, explosive stuff from Mike Tyson. I've been able to take some stuff from that. So I've studied them so much. I watched so many films, so many fights from both of them. I think that if Mike Tyson touches anybody, they're going down, no matter what age he is, no matter how old he is. And I just can't see him not touching Rory at some time in this fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I think in the later rounds, if he can wear Mike Tyson down, he can win a decision or possibly maybe put him away. But my pick is Tyson with that power, man. Like, you got to consider, like, Tyson had power when he was in his 20s. He's got that same power now. And Roy Jones is in his 50s. Tyson's in his 50s. I don't think there's a human being at 50 years old that can take that many Tyson punches, if one. Like, I wouldn't want to take a Tyson punch with the glove and a headgear on.
I don't want to take one. Ain't no college prank on earth.
Like, I think he could kill him, bro.
Dying.
I think he could kill him. I think brain cells being dead is just a minimal. I think literally he could freaking give him I don't know. Like, it's scary. It's a scary-ass fight. And people
it's a punch that, like, the most terrible pedophilish criminals on earth should have to stay there and let Mike Tyson punch them one time. And if they go, they go. That's how serious this punch is. Like, you know what I mean? So I agree with you for the same exact reasons, just that the life-changing power that Tyson has. And I think Roy Jones, you know what I mean, he was king at making people mad, so he can try to gas out Tyson, but I just don't see him being in that much better shape either, though. You know what I mean?
I mean, he fought a year and a half ago, but he fought a year and a half ago. But again, it's just like, yeah. I mean, Tyson might prove his saying of you always have a game plan until you get hit, and when he hits Roy Jones, that could change everything. A lot of people are also saying it's an exhibition fight, and that's going to change things because it's like they might not be going as hard. Can you imagine Mike Tyson? Matter. Can you imagine Mike Tyson in an exhibition fight? Can you imagine Mike Tyson in a sparring session? If you were sparring Mike Tyson and you punch Mike Tyson in the face hard, do you think it'd be a sparring session, bro? Like he only does one thing. He fights. That's it.
He reminds me of a bear.
Yeah, there's no exhibition, bro.
You look like you got something you want. He's gonna lift up, roar at you, and scratch the shit out of you. So I really just don't think exhibition. They can call it what they want.
Yeah,
Mike Tyson and him both have been at the top of the top champions. It's a pride thing, and pride thing is that. Like, anytime you ever see, like, a celebrity basketball, celebrity football, I said, I'm coming out here for ankles and egos. I'm going for real. I want to show everybody that I probably could have played NFL football, so I'm finna go crazy out here. And meanwhile, my hamstring was sore, my groin, my hip, my feet.
Yeah.
I instantly was sore. You know, some take a day or two.
Yeah.
I was sore right then, right there. I was walking weird. I'm like, I was dumb. So that's what's going to happen. They're going to go hard. It is going to be a full-out fight.
That's crazy, man. And you were on the hot boxing with Mike Tyson, dude. I'm so jealous of that. I saw you on there. How was that?
I was the first MMA fighter, but they just put the episodes out as your fight comes up or something important in your life that they can vibe off of. So when I went, and I think I took some screenshots of me being there. Then all the other fighters wanted to try to go. So all these MMA guys trying to follow me, man. They all went on the hot box. But it was cool. It was cool to sit down. I met him 2 or 3 times earlier, and I was glad because, like, that's like one of my idols, like him, Muhammad Ali, Rory, and some other people that I really look up to them as an athlete and just that mind. Man, he had a gorgeous mind when it came down to just being a robot, and they just trained his brain to just destroy. So being able to sit down and have a conversation and just actually really tell him a couple of times, like, I used to watch his fights every day, and that's what kept me on the treadmill. I would watch it 30 to 60 minutes, and I would put his fights on, and that kept me on the treadmill. And I watched the interviews, I watched everything, and I knew him so well. I knew what he was about to do, I knew what he was setting up, but he motivating people on a way that you don't even understand your impact. You don't even understand your footprint, what you're doing in people's mind. It's flattering when you hear it, but do you understand that? And that's coming from somebody that won 5 world titles. I mean, imagine the day-to-day, the person that's a school teacher that just loves Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I saw Eminem just completely fanboy out on his podcast. Like, it was like Eminem spent the majority of the time just saying, like, I can't believe I'm talking to you right now. Like, you're my hero. Like, that's crazy, like, to have that kind of impact. Crazy. But when you're a fighter like you, like yourself being a champion, when you're a fighter, it's a whole different level of celebrity than it is like with everyone else. You know what I mean? Because it's like you're an alpha male. You're a beast. You're like, gladiators were the first, like, real, like, sports guys, and and it's just like, it's a different level. When we do military tours going around supporting the troops and stuff, like, they look forward to our trips more than the celebrities coming because they love watching UFC, and they felt like we kind of like proved ourselves. We were accepted better. That being said, as far as the celebrity thing, I had Anthony and Sergio Pettis on, your boys, and I asked them their most memorable fame moment. And I know you probably have a bunch of crazy ones, but just one that stands out. Theirs was smoking weed with Mike Tyson during the podcast. That was the point where they were just like, holy shit, like, my life is crazy. I've made it. Like, this is an insane situation. Do you have any that you can share where, like, maybe it was a first one or an early one? Because I know you had so fucking many, but one where you were just like an impactful one, maybe in the beginning where you were just like, wow, man, like, I made it. Like, I would never have been able to be in this situation if it wasn't for me being, in the UFC and having a belt or whatever it was at the time.
It would have to be Mike Tyson. The first time I met him, Mike Tyson, he was on that show, right? He was doing that live show talking about his life, and it was scripted real well, and I think Spike Lee got involved with it. So I would have wanted to go see the show anyway. So I hit Dana up, and I was like, Dana, I never asked you for anything, dog, and I may never ask you for nothing again. Mike Tyson is coming to St. Louis, and I got to meet him. I don't care what it costs. I buy my own tickets. I don't need no freebies. I just need to know that I can go backstage and meet him. So he made a couple calls, and then when he got to the end of it, he hit me up and was like, all right, somebody going to be calling you in a minute. And I was like, don't fucking kid with me, dog. So they called me, so I talked to Mike for a second, I talked to his wife, and I talked to his business partner, and they basically set it up where after his show, we got to go and hang out with him, have a couple drinks, relax, and like it's like a private meet and greet joint. But for me, that was like the biggest thing ever. Like this is Mike Tyson. Like how many times I watched you fight. Like it's just for me to feel that way towards him. I can't imagine if some fan feels that way towards me.
Yeah,
because I'm like, why are you gonna feel that way towards me? But I feel like
you understand.
And I understand why I feel that way towards him, if that makes sense.
And you broke up for a sec, but you said Dana set that up, right?
Yeah, Dana set that up.
Dude, the funniest thing, the craziest thing from you saying that right now is like people think I maybe Dana's helped me out, and I've asked him for a lot of stuff because we're friends and this, that, and the other. But dude, I'm like you, I've never asked Dana for anything specifically. Like a lot of, even the stuff Dana's done for me, he's done on his own. Like I've never specifically asked him for something. But bro, I recently, like I'm talking like within like a week and a half ago, asked him for something, and it literally has to do with Mike Tyson. So I'm not gonna say what it is. I'm not gonna say what it is. It's to be seen coming up, but hopefully. But it's funny you said that because I literally went to him, and it had to do with Mike Tyson as well. And that was the one time I really asked and pulled the exact same thing that you did, man. I was like, look, here's the deal. So funny, man. I hope it works out. I really hope it works out.
Kind of vaguely can kind of put it together, but hopefully it works out.
Yeah, for sure. And then, so what about Khabib Gaethje, real fast? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I love that fight. I love the honor in that fight, man. This is like a gladiator fight. This is like the top wrestler. They got the story. His dad passed away. They hopefully when they promote this fight, they really do the saga treatment. Really like theatrical. Spend some money on it because this is the biggest fight right now. Gaethje's a gladiator. He's blood, knockout, kill or be killed type of motherfucker. He's like the dude you send out to the in the wild, and he came back. He's killed every fucking thing.
He's got like ears on a chain.
Yeah. And then you think about you think about Khabib. Khabib's like the one that went the wild that he went out and came back a wolf, came out with a bear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was his
friend. They got to promote that fight like that. Now UFC, if you watch this podcast and you use that treatment, I need my percentage. But that's the way I would do it. Make it really dramatic. Make it really, theatrical, and bring in the like moments of Braveheart and Gladiator, and and put it all together, 300, and let this fight be that, because that's what this fight is.
Yeah,
it is. He's fighting with everything. He's fighting for his unblemished record. He's fighting for his dad. He's fighting because he's the best in the world, and this is what he like to do. But this is the first time we've seen him have to fight without dad, and the adversity that's going. And this is early. He's fighting early. You know what I mean? And that could be good, it could be bad, but we don't know. So now it adds a little bit of extra, not animosity, but add a little bit of extra, pizzazz to the fight. You know what I mean? To the party.
Yeah, dude, I think you nailed it on the head on that one for sure. Like, I mean, there's such a storyline there, and it's like if they take their time and make a good promo, it's gonna make your hair stand up, man. It's gonna be like freaking crazy. I mean, there's so many things that happen, like you said with Khabib, and how's he gonna come back and use that, and then Gaethje just being a beast, dude. His win over Ferguson, that's a huge win for him, bro. Like that is a huge. Ferguson ain't tasted a beast
so long.
Yeah, and he found a way to beat him. And so the big question is, who can find a way to beat Khabib? Because no one's ever been able to do it. Gaethje found a way to beat Ferguson. So like now this is the test, bro. This is the fight, and it's one I'm the most afraid of for Khabib. So, but I think he's going to use what happened and his downside lately and the stress he's went through. It's going to make him stronger. I think he's that type of guy. He's a warrior like that, and that whole like. Their whole group, man, they're just warriors like that. I think he's going to come out there with blood and vengeance, for sure.
Yeah, when you think about Khabib is always with the shit. He's always about that every single time. That's the way he built. When you think about Gaethje, one thing that really stuck out to me is Khabib told Gaethje to go ahead and fight Conor while he dealt with this with his father. He said no. You know what I mean? Like, think about that. Like, he's telling you to go out there. He's giving you the big alley hoop. He's somebody that got a victory over Conor, so he shares some Conor fans. He's telling Gaethje to go out there, defend his interim strap while I take care of family business, earn that big bag, change your life with this fight first, and then when you come back, I'll compete against you then. And he said he found more honor in fighting for that world title than any amount of money than a fight against
sure.
Conor, he made Conor second rate. When was the last time we seen that?
Yeah.
Besides Nate Diaz,
Yeah,
we never seen that.
Him.
So now this fight means so much more because whether it's building up a big rematch with Khabib, which is Conor's number one, request, or if it's setting Gaethje up to be a bigger star than he was, and now that Conor and Gaethje fights for a title, an undisputed one, and Gaethje just beat fucking undefeated Khabib to get it. It's just setting up too many good things.
All right, and last one real fast. My next podcast guest is Daniel Cormier, obviously one of the greatest fighters of all time, fighting Stipe. Dana obviously saying that the winner of this fight is the greatest heavyweight to ever do it. What are your thoughts on that fight, and what do you think? How do you think that's going to play out for the third time?
Yeah, I think in reality that's a factual statement because the heavyweight division is just got these influxes of guys that are athletic, guys that are has a high fight IQ, and then one punch can knock out anybody. You throw 275, 285. Some guys may walk in there close to 300. They got to cut weight. You throw that much power, that weight behind the punch, anybody can get knocked out. So that's the reason why we haven't seen people defend the heavyweight title like, George St. Pierre 9 times and Demetrius and Anderson Silva. It just that power is just one variable that you can't avoid. And it only takes one of them, especially when you got that much weight behind it. So when you look at what Stipe did, Stipe was like 2 or 3 times he defended it, and that was the most. And then that person that defended 2 or 3 times technically would have been the best at that time. And then the best got beat by Cormier, got knocked out by him. And then the next time he fought, Cormier was winning the fight, and then he got knocked out by him. So think about what this fight means for those 2 guys, for their legacy, for the sport, and for the heavyweight division. So I agree. Whoever wins this fight is maybe you saw a more vicious fight out of this heavyweight for a title. But as far as what it means, this is the most important fight in the history of the heavyweight division.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I'm going to get into that with him as well. And I feel good about the fight for sure. And then obviously we talked about AK Thailand coming back here when this quarantine's over. I'm going to let you know, hopefully after this fight, man, or maybe not before for sure, you can focus on the fight, but after this fight, we'll get you out to AK Thailand, man. And I think we need some time to enjoy Phuket, get some good training in, get some healthy food, and reset ourselves.
Ass food too.
It's good food, huh?
Yep.
That's awesome, man. And I can't wait to see you again and get you back out here. So I'm pumped for your fight, bro. I can't wait to see it. I'm excited to hear it's finally happening, and it's going to go down. And I think it's going to be very interesting leading into it. Stay focused, man. Train hard. Stay in touch with me. Let me know if anything you need. I'll be there for you. We're always for you. We're rooting for you here in Thailand, and hopefully we'll see you as soon as it's over with, man. We'll fly out here and get you back to Phuket and have a little time.
Appreciate you, my man. You be good, brother. Take it easy. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon.
All right, brother. Much love. Take care. All right, there we go. Tyron Woodley, my boy. I miss him, man. I miss him so much. We had so much fun when he was here, and it looks like the fight with Colby is official. No date, and I know how that goes. It's official. Until everything is 120%, you can't announce a date. So it is official. They're going to fight, which we knew anyway. But it's good to hear both sides 100% confirm it, and I think this is going to be a very interesting fight. I know Tyron very well, and I know how motivated he is to beat Colby. I know the history. When you help someone out and they kind of turn on you, it creates some bitterness and some anger and some emotion, and emotion is a dangerous thing when you fight. I've fought on emotion my whole career. Some of my best wins I've ever had have been some of my most emotional for whatever reason. I think it's a great fight for Tyron. And then he can do what he wants, I think a win over Colby puts him in a position where he can continue to go for the title, or he can take super fights. He can kind of do what he wants with his career after that. So I hope it's a good fight. I know Colby's a tough opponent. I'm not trying to downplay Colby one bit. He is an extraordinary fighter who put up a hell of a fight against Usman, and he's going to be a tough fight no matter what. He has great pressure. But I do know that that Tyron has so much more to offer than he's shown lately, and he's got so much power, and he's got so much motivation to beat this guy, and it's going to be an incredible fight. I'm as you can see, super pumped up, Team Woodley. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I think it was a great one, great conversation. Even though I talked to him a lot, I think it was an amazing conversation to have and talk about things we've never talked about before. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know what you think. If you're on the audio platforms, SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, you can review us and you can subscribe to us there as well. Thank you all so much for the support, and we'll see you next time.
Real quick, with Mike Swick.